Back. Welcome back. How's everybody feeling this morning? Jesse, how you feeling?
Tired because I couldn't sleep, but I don't know. I couldn't sleep much.
Okay. Good. Well, I'm glad you're here, even though you're tired. I appreciate it. Alexis, how you doing, sweetheart? How you feeling this morning? Hello? Oh, thumbs up. Give me the thumbs up. Okay, cool. Oh, thumbs down? Why thumbs down, Alexis? Go ahead. I can hear you angrily typing with your microphone on, so that must mean you're having a really rough morning. Camilla, while Alexis is typing to us, how are you feeling this morning, Camilla? You feeling okay?
Yeah.
Good. Well, hey guys, it looks like we're just missing a few. I'm sure they'll be pouring in any second. I'm sure you can tell by the music that we're going to be warming up this morning using what?
Kahoot.
Yeah, we'll be using a Kahoot this morning to warm up, to review what we know about exponents. And I see people jumping into the waiting room here now. So first off, I want to start by saying thank you guys for those of you that went to your proper Zoom meetings yesterday while I was out. I had some personal business to attend to, and so I love that I can rely on you guys to be responsible and to kind of take ownership of your own education. I got a lot of really good compliments from my fellow teachers who took you guys on. If you had a hard time getting into a chat yesterday, don't worry. If you called, I got the message. I'll make sure to reflect it in my attendance today when I take it for yesterday. Otherwise, it was pretty smooth. I didn't get too many emails from people that were struggling. It seemed like you guys knew how to handle your business. If you struggled with something yesterday and you really are stressing about it, do me a favor and either shoot me an email later or hang back after class is over and chat with me about it then. That way we don't have to get everybody else involved. And Baldivia says, I missed the last one because the Zoom link didn't work. Sorry, that's okay, Alexander. It's all good, my friend. We'll, like I said, as long as you tried, I can get you credit for being here. And as long as you did the work yesterday that I assigned, or a portion of it, I can mark you as engaged because you did the asynchronous material. So I can get you credit for being engaged either way. Okay, we're waiting on about 2 more people. Oh, good, Alexander. Thank you. I'm glad you did the work. Okay, so here's what we're going to need to be successful this morning. You'll notice that there is a game pin on the board, and I've shared my screen with you. And by the sound of this music, you know that we're going to be using Kahoot to warm up this morning. I'm going to make you guys a deal. My top 3 winners this morning will not have to complete a next-gen practice for today. So that means you're going to want to really be engaged. You're going to really want to throw in as much work and as much effort and as much involvement as you can, because it'll save you from having to do an assignment this afternoon. Okay? So what you'll do is you'll click that link here on the screen. It'll take you to kahoot.it. And once you're there, you'll go ahead. It's okay, Julian. Don't worry about it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by how easy these questions are if you've been paying attention this week. And again, we're reviewing our exponents, our understanding of exponents. And Julian, the good news for you, my friend, is that nobody in this class is an expert with exponents yet, right? This is a relatively new muscle that we're working out. So you have just as good a chance as anyone else of being in that top 3. So don't start to count yourself out just yet, okay? So this is the Kahoot game pin. After you click the Kahoot icon in our Google Classroom, it'll take you here. Go ahead and get in. I'm counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. We're missing about 2 people. So we'll wait for those 2 people to get in and get their Kahoots going. And again, that game pin is right up here on the screen. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat log just in case. Okay, we've got a few more people coming in right now. And that game pin will go to everybody now. And if you're confused, it's up on the board. Good, Krishna's in. We're just waiting on 2 more people. We are waiting on 2 more people. I believe we're waiting on Alexander and 1 more. So go ahead and get into Kahoot and get your gamer pin plugged in so we can get started. We're waiting on you guys. Let's get going. We'll give it about another 10, 15 seconds, and then we're just going to kick the game off. Okay, 9, 8, 7. Hold on, getting a chat. 6, 5. Mine isn't working, says Destiny. That's weird, Destiny. You should. So here, let me see if I can help you out there, Destiny. I bet you that there's something I can do. Check this out. All right. Give me 1 second, Destiny, and I would bet money that I'll be able to force your computer to open Kahoot. And let's go down here to Miss Destiny Tay. And let's open up your... Yeah, something's going on with your computer, sweet. There we go. So the game pin, Destiny, is 4750388. Try to enter that. There you go. Now put your nickname in. There we go. I knew we could get it to work. Now, keep track of your nicknames, because at the end of this, as I said, what is the prize going to be for the top 3 people who come in the top 3?
No next gen.
No next gen today, so you're gonna really want to pay attention to what your nickname is, okay? So don't forget. I know it's easy to forget sometimes. Here we go. Exponents, day 2. Here we go. First question. It's a quiz question. When discussing exponents, what is the best definition of a base? Is it the base does it tell us how many times to multiply a number by itself? Is it the number that is being multiplied by itself when raised to a certain power? Is the base the same as a term, or is the base the same as an operator? "30 seconds. Uh-oh. All right, looks like we are all but finished. We're waiting on one person. There we go. Interesting. Okay, so here's the good news. More of you got it correct than not. And yes, a base is the number that is multiplied by itself when raised to a certain power. So, for example, if I had a number that looked like this, and this is something I really want you to pay attention to. If you'll notice that sometimes exponents are written like this, where it'll be the base and then an arrow pointing up and then another number. This is another way of representing exponents on PCs. They're pretty clunky. They don't represent exponents very well. So when you see this up dash or this up arrow with a number next to it, you can imagine that this number here is the exponent. But when we're talking about a base, yes, we're talking about the number that is being multiplied by itself. Okay, on to the next one. And it looks like my girl Desire is in the lead. And she's in the lead by a nose. Natalie is right behind her with 941. Desire's got a 6-point lead with Karen trailing shortly behind. Here we go. When discussing exponents, the exponent, or what we call a power, is the term, the number that is multiplied by itself when raised to a certain power, a number that shows how many times the base is multiplied by itself, or the operator. Very good. And once again, more of you got this correct than not. The exponent, or the power, is a number that shows how many times the base is being multiplied by itself. So once again, if we have this 4 raised, not $4, raised to the power of 4, we know that that means we can write this in expanded form as 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Meaning 4 is being multiplied by itself 4 times, and that is being controlled or dictated by the power, or the exponent. Hold on, I'm getting chats. Okay, next question. Are we ready? Are we ready? I don't hear you. Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Natalie overtook Desire, and it looks like Karen did too. We've got this is a good race. And we've got Genesis in third now. Here we go. True or false? 5 raised to the second power is the same as 5 times 2. Ah, okay. Once again, I'm encouraged here to see that more of you than not got it correct, but the answer is false. 5 raised to the second power is not the same as 5 times 2. Remember, 5 raised to the second power would be the same as saying 5 times 5, which has a value of 25, whereas 5 times 2 only has a value of 10. We need to remember the difference between multiplication and exponential growth, right? When we use exponents to multiply, our numbers increase at a really steep and almost instantaneous kind of rate, depending on what our power or our exponent is. All right, and now it's looking like Nat is maintaining her lead. Karen is still holding on to that second place spot, and it looks like Genesis is in third. However, our 2 Alexanders are shortly behind and could easily overtake any of these young ladies. Here we go. What does it mean to evaluate a numerical expression? Does it mean to judge or determine the numerical value of an expression? Does it mean to substitute a value for a variable? Does it mean to write an expression in expanded form? Or does it mean to write an expression in exponential form? The operative word here is evaluate. If you paid attention to this, good. That ended before I had a chance to even open my mouth. Yes, remember, what are some of the synonyms we use in our self-assessment at the beginning of this unit for the kind of vocab word evaluate? What are 2 words that we can use to kind of as synonyms for evaluate? Judge is one, right? If I'm being evaluated by my university professor or my university supervisor, it means that she is judging the appropriateness of my teaching style or my professional demeanor, right? Good. Gabriella says this is actually really easy. I'm glad to hear that. This is supposed to be easy and fun. I'm glad. Very good. Yes. To evaluate means to judge or determine the numerical value of an expression. Here we go. Whoa, look at that. Our leaderboard just shifted. Shayra coming up hot in 4th place and very near the 3rd place. Actually, Genesis fell into 4th. Shayra is in 5th, very close behind. And Karen is in 1st. Karen wants to get out of that next gen today. Very good. Here we go. True or false? The value of 5 raised to the second power is 25. True or false? Julian just typed, wait! Oh! Very good. Yes, it is true. The value of 5 raised to the second power is 25. 5 to the second power, if we were to write that out in expanded form, it would look like this. 5 times 5. Because the second power tells us that 5 is being multiplied by itself twice. Well, we know, those of us with our math facts zipped up and in the bag, we know that the product of 5 and 5 would be 25. Very good. Next question. Let's take a look at our leaderboard. Oh man. Oh man. It's getting close. This is getting ugly. This is a slugfest. Oh my gosh. All right. Quiz question. Which of the following options is in expanded form? 5 times 5 times 5, 5 raised to the power of 3, 5 cubed, or 5 raised to the power of 3 again, just written out in as a number sentence. Very good. Yes, almost every single one of you got that one correct. Remember that expanded form, if you're having a hard time remembering what expanded notation or expanded form is, think of it this way. If you have a base and an exponent that looks like this, right? 5 raised to the 4th power, this is what we would call exponential form, right? Because there is a base and an exponent. However, if we took this and we broke it apart, almost like a Lego block, right? And we broke it into its smallest Lego pieces, we would see that this is actually just a way of saying 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. And in that way, we are taking the exponent and expanding it. We're stretching it out, right? And this is why we call it expanded form or expanded notation. And I'm just putting that up there in the notation spot on our page. Okay? All right, are we ready? Let's take a look at our leaderboard. Whew. I might have to open this up to the top 5 people not having to do next gen today, because this is an ugly slugfest. This is starting to get really close. Our leaderboard is shifting every time. Here we go. Which of the following are written in exponential form? Not expanded, but exponential form. Is it 5 raised to the power of 6? Is it 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5? Or is it 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5? Or is it 5 times 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 5? There we go. Yes, those of you that used your deductive reasoning, even if you could not remember, Karen, you're right, I did just tell you, and yet we still have students just kind of answering all over the place. So you could have paid attention to what I just told you, or you could have used your deductive reasoning skills to understand that one of these things was not like the other. And yes, 5 raised to the power of 6 is an exponential form because there is a base and an exponent. Okay, let's take a look at our leaderboard. And Karen, you now have a fire icon next to your name. I'm hoping that doesn't mean that you're on fire literally, but figuratively speaking, you are on fire. Let's see here. Karen, Natalie, Shayra, Genesis, and Gabriella, I may have to open up the no next gen option to each of you, because you guys have... Gabriella came back from the dead. Here we go. Second to last question. Evaluate 4 raised to the 4th power. This one's going to require you to move very quickly. I should have extended the time on this one. All right. Yes, only one person got this one correct. The answer was 256. And so let's take a look at our leaderboard. And just for those of you that are... that we're struggling with that, we can go ahead and work this one out in just a little bit as soon as we're done, right? I don't want you to panic. Here we go. Oof, okay. Last question. How many terms are in the expression 2x minus 4? Is there one term? Are there 2 terms? Are there 3 terms? Are there 4 terms? Yes, and once again, I'm pleased to report that more of you got this correct than not. And I know we did this on Monday, we did this last Friday, and then took the weekend off, and then I was out yesterday, so we're going to review a little bit of this as well. That's why we're doing this. Yes, in the expression 2x minus 4, there are 2 terms. Remember that a term is separated from another term by an operation symbol, right? And in this case, what is the operation symbol that is shown explicitly in this problem? What operation symbol do you guys see here?
Multiply. What do you call it? Subtraction.
Right, so subtraction is the one that we see explicitly, right? The multiplication is only implied because 2 next to x, yes, they are supposed to be multiplied. And we haven't gotten into that yet. So if Julian is a little bit ahead of the game there. So if you were looking at what Julian just said and you're like, wait, where do I see multiplication? We've not gotten into equivalent expressions yet. Right now, we're all just kind of getting used to the idea of exponents, but I figured I would front load us with a little bit of understanding of terms and what we would call variables, so that next week when we jump into that swarming pool of alligators, you guys are at least ready to rock and roll and have your floaties on. So, how do we feel about exponents? How many of you guys got through that? And oh, by the way, I need to look at my leaderboard before I close this out. Hold on. What am I doing? I didn't even declare a winner. All right, so in 3rd place, Natalie. In 2nd place, Genesis. And in 1st place, Karen. Very nice. Very nice. So our 2 runners-up were Shayra and Gabriella. And Shayra and Gabriella, I'm going to go ahead and offer you the consolation prize that today, if you would like to do no next gen, you can go ahead and choose to do so with no penalty incurred. You may do no next gen, all 5 of my top people. Now, Julian, you were close. You were close, but that just means we're going to have to work a little bit harder next time we use a Kahoot review. And I'll try and throw another one in this week before the week is over, because it seems like you guys really like those. All right, so with all that being said, now that we're nice and warmed up, now that our muscles are nice and warm, Karen, you can do next gen not for extra credit, but for extra practice if you'd like to. I can't offer extra credit every time you go above and beyond, but if you feel like you need the practice or would like the practice to keep yourself sharp, then go right ahead. Everybody go ahead and open up this document, Lesson 1, Day 2, Powers and Exponents. And I have a feeling that we can get through this assignment, or at least most of it, before the period is out. And if we don't, you're going to need to finish it during your async time. Remember, we're gearing up for test season. We've got our CASP test coming up in just a couple short months, and so it's time to get us back in fighting shape. We all went into Christmas break with a little bit of kind of sluggishness and antipathy for the work, and came back, and we weren't really able to get our claws dug back in fully, because as soon as we came back, we had like a short week, and then on top of that, we had Camp Keep for an entire week the next week. And so last week was really our first full week back, and I want to get us back in fighting shape. So those of you that have seen the movie Rocky, now is the time that we start punching the big hanging bags of meat in the freezer, and we start running up the steps. This is where we get back into fighting shape. So I don't want to hear any whining, crying, complaining about the length of this assignment, because I can see a bunch of you guys starting to roll eyes. So let's go ahead and get started here. You'll also notice I have reformatted. Okay, Mr. Juarez, that's the second time you told us that, but that is not what we're working on right now, okay? We'll get into that in just a little bit if we have time. We only have about 20 minutes left in class, and I want to get through each of these problems. If we spend 1 minute per problem, we can finish this before the end of the period. But again, if we're going to get distracted, this is going to fall on you guys to finish. So you'll notice when you have this open, and I've got my Go Guardian open, so let's just see who's ready to go. Looks like almost everybody is there. Still waiting on Maria to join us. And then, there we go, Genesis is there now. Looks like she was just flipping through different tabs trying to close things out. Good. Okay. All right, looks like everybody's on the same page. You'll notice that I formatted this differently from the last one. So now you can actually type your answers in to the actual document itself. On top of that, though, I do need to see any and all written work included and inserted as an image at the end of this, so that I can give you full credit for this assignment. So let's go ahead and get started here. Jesse, can you read me the instructions for the first set of 9 questions here? Or 8 questions. Can you read me these instructions here?
Yes. Write each product using exponents.
Okay, so I'm not going to do a full-on cubes page for this, but I am going to go ahead and highlight these 2 signal words that I see here. I see product and exponent. And then I'm going to go ahead and underline write each, because that's giving us our task, right? That's telling us exactly what it is that we need to get done. So Jesse, if you had to kind of put it in your own words, what are the 2 things that we need to do with this problem here?
Like, that's 20 times 20, so then we have to find the exponent.
Okay.
Which is 20 to the second power.
Okay, good. So what you're saying here, and you guys can go ahead and look at my screen, so I'll show you how to format these, right? So what Jesse just said is that another way of saying this, 20 times 20, is 20 raised to the second power. And so what you'll notice, because again, your computer does not type exponents very well, I have a nifty little program on mine that will allow me to do it, but I don't want to like cheat and confuse you guys and make you wonder as to how I'm doing that. So the way that you can do that is by typing your base, which in this case is 20, and then this up arrow symbol, and then your exponent. Okay, is everybody clear on that? Now, if you're confused as to where to find the up arrow, the up arrow is located just above the number 6 on your keyboard. So if you hold Shift and 6 at the same time, it will put that up arrow in there for you. And then 2. Now, Jesse, you got half the problem done. You got the part that says exponent, write the exponent. But what does it also say? What is that other signal word that we boxed and highlighted there?
product.
Okay, and what does product tell us that we need to do?
I can't remember.
Okay, Jesse can't remember what product means. Does anyone want to jump in and tell us?
Answer.
Okay, find the answer, but specifically an answer for what kind of problem?
20 times 20.
You're dancing around it.
Open.
You're going to make it rain, Julian, because you're dancing so much. When we use the word product, what operation are we using? Shaver got it. Yeah, okay, good. You guys got it. Multiplication. Yeah, so let's go ahead and multiply this out. What is 20 times 20? Well, we can go ahead and work that out as a class. And like I said, these are the kinds of things I need to see in your works page. So you're going to need to include this to show me that you're not just kind of leeching off the class. So 20 times 20. What is 0 times 0?
0.
0. And 0 times 2?
0.
Good. We're going to go cross that out, drop our placeholder. 2 times 0 is also 2, or 0, and 2 times 2 is 4. If we add our partial products together, what is our actual product here? It is 400. So here's how you'll write that in your problem. You can say equals 400, okay? I'm getting chatted here. Let's take a look. Oh, good. You guys were just including your answers. Very good. Nice participation, guys. I'm glad that everybody's got their head in the game this morning. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. Shayra, can you read me question number 2?
Okay. It says 4 times 4 times 4 times 4.
Okay, 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Now, Shayra, before we write this as an exponent, if we have it in expanded form like this, it might be actually easier to work with it. So let's go ahead and work this one out. I'm going to go ahead and spotlight my camera for you guys. I'm not going to share my screen because you guys should have yours nice and open. I don't want to have too many windows open for you. What is 4 times 4 in this case?
16.
And what is 16 times 4? It is 64. And then let's do this last one together. 64 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 6 is 24, plus one more is 256. So we know our product is 256. So we've got that part of it done. But how would I write 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 as an exponent? Good, Julian's got it, Shayra's got it. Valeria's got it, Shayra's got it. She corrected herself. I knew what you meant. Genesis has it. Karen's got it. Wow, our leaderboard is staying pretty much the same. Jesse and Natalie, very good. Anybody else? All right, here we go. Yeah, we can write this a few different ways. If we were doing this on paper, we would say 4 raised to the 4th power just this way. But since we're doing it on a computer, we can say 4 up arrow 4, just like that. Very, very good, Camilla. All right, let's move on to question number 3. Go ahead and get that updated. Let's go ahead and have, Natalie, can you read me question 3, please? Oh, your mic's super quiet. Sorry, I forgot your mic is kind of foobarred. Let's go ahead and have someone with a louder mic. Thank you for trying, though, Nat. Let's go with Francisco. Can you read me question 3? And let's do it quickly because we are running out of time.
2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2.
Okay, so 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Now, before we write this as an exponent, let's go ahead and work this out while we have it in expanded form, just because it's easier to work this out. Let's go ahead and work this out, class. 2 times 2 is?
4.
Okay. 4 times 2 is?
8.
8 times 2 is?
16.
16. 16 times 2 is?
32.
32, right? Let's go with 32 times 2 is?
64.
64, and 64 times 2 is?
28.
128. Very good. So we've got our product there, right? So we've got our product down. We've got 128, but let's go ahead and see Well, we know our base is 2, right? That's the number being multiplied by itself. Now let's count how many times. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So if I had to write this down, I could say 2 up arrow 7 or 2 raised to the 7th power if I was doing this by hand on a piece of paper, right? These are all the same ways of saying the same, or different ways of saying the same thing, rather. Okay? All right, hold on. I got a bunch in the chat. Oh, look, everybody just giving me their answers. Good. Awesome. Wow, you guys are killing the game this morning. All right, let's look at question number 4, and we're making good time. We might be able to get through a huge portion of this assignment before the break. Okay, and actually what we'll do is this. Because we may have some leftover problems by the end of the break, if we do, that's what you'll do instead of your next gen, okay? So Karen, Genesis, Shayra, and Natalie, if we don't finish this, you just turn in whatever we did as a class. Everybody else has to finish. That'll be your reward for taking over the leaderboard in math today, okay? All right, here we go. Question number 4. Logan, can you read me question number 4, please? Thank you, sir.
3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3.
Okay? All right, so Logan, before we get started on turning this into an exponent, because right now, what is this called, Logan, when I have this written out long ways? Would this be expanded or exponential form?
Mr. Stockman, you're missing one more thing.
I am? 1, 2, 3, 4. You're right. Thanks, Jess.
Expanded?
It would be expanded, right? Because it is. You can see that it's been stretched out and expanded. What we want to do is collapse it and write it as an exponent. But before we do, let's go ahead and find the product since it's kind of easier, at least in terms of how my brain moves from left to right. Let's go ahead and work this out. 3 times 3, class.
9.
9 times 3, class.
27.
27 times 3, class. You can work it out like this, 27 times 3. 3 times 7 is, oh, hold on, Rosalie got kicked out. Let me get her back in. 7 times 3 is 21. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 more is 8, so we get 81. And let's do 81 times 3, class.
243.
243, very good. So we know our product is 243. However, let's write this now in exponential form to satisfy both aspects of the question. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So go ahead and put it in the chat. How would I write this as an exponent, or in exponential form, I should say? How would I write this in exponent? Good, 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 good. Yes. Excellent, excellent. Very good, you guys. Sweet. Almost everybody I got right there. So yes, this would be 3 to the power of 5. Very good. And we still have a few minutes left if we want to keep going. Let's get as many of these out of the way as we can. You can't have too much practice with this stuff. All right, let's look at question number 5. Julian, can you read me question number 5, please?
10 times 10 times 10.
10 times 10 times 10. Now, let me go ahead and kind of, hold on, we got someone screaming in the background. If you've got little brother or sister kind of screaming in the background, I gotta mute you. It's just a little bit distracting. Thank you. So, let me ask you this question. Julian, let's say that I wrote that the product of this was 300. Would I be correct?
No.
No. But, so if somebody did do this, what was the error that they made? If they looked at 10 times 10 times 10 and they wrote 300, what would be the error that they committed here?
They probably added a 3, or they thought 10 times 10 by the power of 3 equals 10 times 3.
That's right. They confused 10 to the power of 3, which would be this, or this. They confused that for 10 times 3, which we now know is not the same thing. So let's take a look at the difference. And very good, Genesis. Thank you for responding in the chat. 10 times 10 is what, boys and girls?
100.
100. And now we take 100 times 10, which would be
1,000.
1,000, right? Very good. Okay, so make sure you get all of these things in there. Either 10, so 10 up arrow 3 and 1,000, right? Make sure you get those. Very good, Jesse. Let's look at question number 6, and we're almost through the first section of this assignment. Question number 6, Mr. Mr. Kevin, can you read me question number 6, please?
7 times 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 times 7.
Good. All right, Kev. What is our base in this case? Let's go ahead and work this out. Let's go ahead and write it as an exponent first. What is my base?
Your base is 7.
Very good, sir. And what would be my exponent? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what is my exponent or my power?
7 to the 6 powers.
7. We don't say times 6 powers because that would be easy to confuse it with.
7 to the 6 powers.
Very good, sir. Thank you for fixing that. So let's work this out. This one might take a minute. Let's go ahead and break off as a class. This one's going to take a minute, probably even for me, because I try not to cheat and use a calculator. So you're going to do 7 times 7, which is what?
49.
49. And I'll get you started there. Now do 49 times 7. Actually, you know what? We still got 10 minutes. I'm going to let you guys work this one out on your own. You guys take a minute to get this one done. Go ahead.
9 times 7.
Go right ahead and get that worked out. Anybody feel like they're getting close? You're getting close, Destiny. Oh, Camilla, it's going to be much larger than that. It's going to be much larger than that, Shara. Desire, you got it. You're good to go, Desire. Very good. Jesse's got it. Perfect. Yes, Karen. Very good. It's going to be bigger than that, Kevin, but you're on the right track. Gabriella's got it. Not quite that large, Jeremiah. Camilla Flores, put a comma in there for me. I got bad eyes. You're right, but I need to see that you know where the comma goes. It's going to be larger than that, Shara. Valeria, good job. All right, let's go ahead and work this out. It's looking like most of the class has it. Very good, Camilla. Okay, so let's work this out. 49 times 7. 9 times 7 is what, class? 9 times... What is 9 times 7?
63.
63, thank you. 7 times 4 is 7 times 28 plus 6 more. Okay, so we get 343. Now we need to do 343 times 7. 343 times 7. What is 7 times 3, class?
21.
21. 7 times 4?
40.
28 plus 2 more?
30.
30. 7 times 3?
21. 24.
21 plus 3 more is 24. Very good. I knew what you meant, Julian. Now let's do 2,401 times 7. 2,401 times 7. We get 7, 0, 28, and 16. So we get 16,807. This is where a lot of you guys were stopping. And so this is why I was saying you were close, but you were not quite there. You guys did 7 to the 5th power, not 7 to the 6th. Now let's work this out. We're at the big boss battle now. 16,807 times 7. Well, 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 5 more would be 47. And 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 more, which would be 11. So what we end up with is 117,649. Now, I want you to pay attention. I want you to look at this. When I tell you at the end of this assignment, I need to see your work, this is what I'm talking about right here. If I don't see you working these out by hand, I'm going to assume that you're using a calculator. Now, here's the deal. Under normal circumstances, in my class, I would let you use a calculator from time to time. I would. You're going to get the opportunity to use one on the CASP test in certain cases. The difference is, I know that many of you guys are not rigorously practicing your times tables the way that you should be, and so this right here, these long, drawn-out multiplication problems, yes, I'm aware that they are long and difficult. But long and difficult does not mean bad for you, right? These are good for you. This is good practice. For a lot of you guys, especially those of you that are not doing your next gen on a regular basis, you're not practicing your times tables, okay? And so these are going to help you. So I really need to see the work, and it might mean that you upload multiple pictures. That's fine, as long as I see that you did the work. Can we do number 7 real quick? Yes, let's go, Karen. Read me number 7, Karen.
25 times 25 times 25.
25 times 25 times 25. Now, Karen, what would be my base in this case? 25 is my base, and what is my exponent, Karen? Very good. So we could write it like this if we were doing it on our paper, or we could write it as 25 up arrow 3. Very good. Now let's work this out. Who wants to tell me what is 25 times 25? Well, we can work it out.
2,500.
2,500, right? Let's just make sure. 25, no, it can't. 25 times 25 can't be. 5 times 5 is 25. Oh, yeah, it is. Hold on. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 more is 12. 2 times 5 is 10. Yeah, it's 625. That's what I thought. Okay, and 625 times 25 is what?
5 times 5 is 25. And 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. So 1 on top and 6. 6 times 5 is 30. And then 1 on top, so 31.
Good. Keep going, Julian. Talk us through it.
And then 2 times 5 is 10. So 1 on top. And then 2 times 2 equals 4. Plus 1 is 5. 2 times 6 is 12. And then
Look at that. Well done. Okay, let's work out. So number 7 we got. Uh-oh. Oops. So you'll notice when you look at your page, it looks like something got screwed up in the formatting. Number 8 is just the 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Number 9 is 6.5 times 6.5. So you can skip number 9 down, right? You can hit enter and it'll knock it down. These are hard to format in Word form. So let's work on number 8 together. Let's do number 8 in the 1 minute that we have left. Number 8 is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. My base is obviously going to be 5. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 5 to the 7th power. Let's work this out. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. 125 times 5 is what?
$600.
Are you sure? 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 625. Very good. Now let's do 625 times 5. $1,325. Let's do that times 5. 1,325 times 5. $6,625 times 5 now. Go ahead, and this will be your exit ticket. Go ahead and put it in the chat when you feel like you've got the final product. When you feel like you've got the final product, go right ahead. You're close. You guys are getting close. You guys are close. Remember, you're going to 7, not to 6. Gabriella's got it. You went a little bit over, Genesis. Let's work this out. Hold on, I'll give you another second. Okay, so what we're looking at here is 15,625 times 5. And when we work this out, good, Krishma got it. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 more is 12. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 1 more, it would be 31. 5 times 5 is 25 again, plus 3 more would be 28. And 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 more would be 7. Therefore, our product is 78,125. Very good. Krishma, you were off by 1 digit, but I'll give it to you. Okay, so here's what needs to happen. You'll notice now on your assignment, you have problems 10 through 21. So Karen, Natalie, Shayra, Gabriella, and Genesis, right? Those were my top 5. You guys do not have to complete the rest of the assignment. If you would like to, no, I'm not going to give you extra credit. But if you want the practice, you can certainly do the math. Everybody else, I want you working on these problems. This is what is due to me instead of next gen. Is everybody clear on that?
Okay, so we don't have to do next gen,
But you have to finish this. And yeah, Valeria just asked me a question. She asked, is there a question number 9? So Valeria, take a look. On your page, it looks like this, where it's like question 8, and then you'll see like it says 9.6.5. If you go put your cursor right in front of the 9 and hit enter, it'll drop it down, and question number 9 is right there. So yeah, you need to do all of those, okay?
What was the answer again?
For which one? Oh, for number 8? The answer was 78,000. Now I'm trying to remember. It was 78,125. That's right. 125. And we know that we can write that as an exponent like this. 5 raised to the 7th power, right? Okay, so is everybody clear? On the math async. Yes, Julian, I did on that one for the sake of time. Okay, so everybody except for Genesis and Shayra and Natalie and Karen and who else? Oh, and Gabriella. You guys are on the hook to do questions 9 through 21 instead of Next Gen today. Okay? Do I want you to show me your work at the end? Everybody, class, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. You need to insert an image from your camera. Okay, you need to take a picture, insert, and put it there. If you have several pages of work, include them all so I can see that you did the work. Now, right now I want you guys working on a vocabulary lesson in Reading Plus. If you've already done a vocabulary lesson this morning for some reason, then do a reading lesson. And then I will see you guys back at 10 o'clock for 5th period. And I want to kind of show you what we're working on in 5th period. 5th period, we're going to be reading about how video games are good for you. Studies suggest video games can help mental health. So be prepared to read about a subject you guys are all very passionate about, I'm sure. And I will see you guys back here in about an hour and 10 minutes. Alrighty? Alright, guys. Have a good morning. I'll see you in just a little while. Thank you.
Bye.